Hello guys, I'm Super Ron, welcome back to the channel, and this week I've got myself a new daily driver. This could possibly be the highest spec A3 ever put together, and already I absolutely love it. So many of you will already have seen my old daily driver on the channel, my 250,000 mile Mark V Golf. I had that for the last 6 years, done nearly 70,000 miles in it, and it's actually my highest viewed videos are the ones that I did on the Golf on the how-tos. But it was finally time for an upgrade, and I'll get on to why in a little while, but for the last week or so I have been daily driving the RS6. And as much of an absolute luxury it has been doing the school runs, driving to work, just running errands around in my 4.2 V8 twin turbo RS6, it's not ideal on fuel economy. I was getting about 15 to the gallon, so the massive 85 litre tank doesn't go very far. So it was time to get another daily driver. I absolutely love my Mark V Golf. It ticked all the boxes, had excellent fuel economy, never let me down, and just kept on going and going and going and going. So when I was looking for a replacement, I was looking at that platform. I wanted the 1.9 litre PD engine, but when I was looking around at Mark V Golfs 6 years later, they are now starting to look a little bit dated. So I started looking at its cousin on the same platform, the Audi A3. Even though the Golf was quite a basic spec, it was a match, so it didn't have any flashy bumpers, it had small 15-inch wheels. Inside it did actually have a bit of user-friendly spec. It had auto lights, auto wipers, auto dimming rear mirror, it also had cruise control, CD auto changer. Now AutoShack has moved to the new premises round in Shotley. I'm actually spending about an hour and a half in a car a day, so those luxuries inside were something that I wanted to keep. But what I started to discover when I was looking at S-Line A3s, they're actually very low spec inside. None of them had cruise control, very few had auto wipers. So for the price of the ones that did have the high spec, I'm starting to favour back towards the Golf. I don't want to spend a fortune on a daily driver, but also I want to be around in something nice. And that is when I spotted this one pop up just 10 miles from my house. It couldn't be better, and the spec on this is absolutely fantastic. It is loaded inside and out. Let me show you some of the bits. So what I found with the A3s is the S-Lines were very low spec, very basic inside, sporty looking outside, but very basic to drive. The cars with the really high spec was the SE, but they had really boring grandad spec outside, really small wheels, plain bumpers, usually wood trim, fabric inside. So this one is super high spec and super sporty looking, and I'll let you know why. But while we're here, we can see it's got bi-xenon projector headlights, it's got DRLs, it's got the US spec side markers which work as the side lights, it's got headlight washers, and it's got the S-Line bumpers and 18-inch wheels, which funnily enough match the RS6 nicely. As this is a 2005 car, it is what's called a pre-facelift 8P. As some of you might have spotted on the rear here, we have got facelift lights. On the pre-facelift, they just have individual bulbs like a normal car. And when they brought the facelift out, they have this red LED ring that travels all the way around here, like the modern Audis, to give it a much fresher image in the dark. So at night time, they look like this. So that might let on that this car has had a few modifications, and I'll let you into a little secret. This car is actually an SE, but it's been dressed up all as S-Line kit. So the outside does look really cool, S-lined up, but the big upgrades have been done inside. And inside here is very different to how it came out of the factory. So as you can see, we've got half leather, half Alcantara, heated front seats. We've got the matching rears and all the door cards as well, all from an S-Line. The door cards are all matching. We've got Alcantara inserts, we've got electric windows all round, we've got heated electric mirrors, we've got the silver trim that goes all the way round. We've got a S-Line multifunction 3-spoke steering wheel. We've got all the silver trims in the middle. All the matching interiors have been installed all the way round, even in the back. Got the half Alcantara seats, half leather, all the door cards, everything is really nice in here. We've got the dual climate, we've got the heated front seats control, and above that we've got the RNSE Audi factory sat nav. And you can see as we turn the ignition on here, this is the biggest change for me as driving. In the Mark V Golfs and in the pre-facelift A3s, all the mileage and everything here should be the red pixelated outlay, just like is on the heat controls there. And that is what I've been staring at in my Golf, and in my RS6 is the same, all the old style red pixelated dash. In this one, as you can see, it's got the crystal clear white dials, and it's got the updated center display. So as you can see there at the moment, we're on speedo. It has been really cool having a center speedo in there, really useful to look down at. But if we go into the menus, we can check our servicing. So we've still got 7,000 miles till the service. We can check our chassis number, which does match. We have 2 keys, and the other thing I've discovered about the dual climate, when we're in the middle here, you can control each side individually, so each passenger can have the same. I was a little bit worried about this when I get in the morning, whether I'm going to have to adjust one up to get them to match when I'm on my own. But if you hold the auto for 3 seconds, both then adjust together, which is handy. And the other thing I discovered, it says we've got 2 keys, and I have in fact got 2 keys, and that saves your data. So with this key, I've got it set at 23 degrees. If I take this key out and put the other key in, which your partner would have, turn that on, that saves their old settings, so it will always be the same when you get back in, which I think is pretty cool. So let's go back to my settings. We are back up to 23. So all these little things together, it just shows how much more modern this is than the Golf. Even though it's on the same platform, everything is just completely different. We've got the anti-dazzle rear mirror on the light. We've got our auto lights. We've got our auto wipers. We've got our DRLs on and off. We've got the get me home lights. We've got our US Spec side lights that are on the front bumper. And then we've got our main bi-xenon projectors. I keep that on auto. We've got our voice command, so we can tell the radio what we want it to do. But most of the time it just says, pardon. We've got cruise control down here, all factory installed. So in here you can see it is just so modern, and it just seems like I'm driving a 10-year newer car than the Golf, even though they are the same age. And the engine is exactly what I was looking for as well. As you might be able to tell from the rev counter there, we've got the 1.9 TDI. Just like the Golf. And this one is on 158,000 miles. So from previous experience, I know we've still got another 100,000 miles on this engine to go. So in the engine bay, we have got that 1.9 litre PD engine that I desired. It is exactly the same in here as the Mark V Golf. We've just got a different engine cover. The car has only done about 3,000 a year. It's just a second car for the last few years. I'm going to be bumping that right up, but it's still been serviced every single year. All its oil changes, all its brake changes, everything is fully up to date. So all in all, this ticked off every single box I wanted it to. It's really nice looking, looks really modern with all the upgrades, fantastic spec inside, and I paid £1,100 for this. It was up for £1,500, but the cam belt is overdue. Luckily, I know a guy that can do that. So I got him down to £1,100, which I think for the amount of car here is absolutely fantastic. It is a little bit rough on the outside when you start looking around it, but for me, this is perfect. It's going to be doing the school runs, the work runs, it's going to be flying up and down through the countryside in all weathers, so I never want anything too perfect. So maybe there may be a few episodes tidying this up on the way. Overall, this is a really tidy, well-kept car. But if we start looking around a little bit closer, you can see there are a few bits that could require a little bit of help. The wheels are a bit scuffed. Like if you look close, there's the odd little bubble. Along the sides is nice and tidy. We've got a little bit of a paint reaction here. Looks like the primer's come through on this corner. So again, we might be able to sort that out. This wheel's got a bit of a graunch where something's fell on it, but it all drives nice. The biggest bit that bothers me is at the back here. We've got a big rust scab. I reckon what's happened, someone's drilled a hole many years ago and that rust has just got bigger and bigger and bigger and comes out here. And the annoying thing is, at night time, all of this is dark, but the number plate light is right here and it's like a spotlight on this. All you can see is that big bubble of rust. So I might look at having a little repair in that. We can paint just that bottom bit. It's got a nice hard line all the way through, just to improve that. Even bits for these aren't too much, so maybe we could even get a new tailgate for not a lot of money. We've got little bits of like lacquer peel here, the odd little scuff, but overall it is really, really nice. You can see this wheel's taken a bit of a beating, being curbside, a few parking instances, and there's a bit of a scuff up here. But for a daily driver, for me, this is absolutely perfect. I don't want anything too pristine that I'm worried about just chucking it in a parking space or hiding it away somewhere or diving into a hedge when I need to pass someone in the countryside. Some of these little bits do bother me, so I might do a little home DIY wheel refurb on these, maybe get all these a little bit nicer and polished up. But as you can see, as it is very presentable. So if my Golf was that fantastic, how come I've got a new car? Well, let's take a little trip to Auto Shack and have a look. When I picked up the car, the first thing that was really noticeable was the steering. When you're at low speeds or you're just parking, it is a super duper light, like there's no resistance. When you get up to normal speed, it just goes back to normal. It's got the same electric power steering rack that's on the Golf, so there must be some extra bit of electronics that's got a park assist on this one. When you're up to speed, it all just goes back to normal. Oh, that's the other thing. I don't know if you just heard that, but the central locking just locked. This has got anti-hijacking turned on, so if you go over 10 miles per hour or whatever it is, all the doors lock, which is annoying when you're doing the school run. They go to jump in, everything's locked. The other thing, when you turn the ignition off, it's only the driver's door that unlocks, all the other ones stay locked. And on the remote central locking, if you just press it once, it only unlocks the driver's door. You have to press it twice to unlock all the doors. So as this is a family car and there's quite a low chance of me getting hijacked, I'm going to turn all that off, code it all out and put the central lock in to one blip, unlocks all the doors. And talking of speed, both cars were 105 horsepower PD versions, but this one has got a cheeky remap. So this one is mapped to 137 brake and it is noticeably different. So it might seem to some of you guys that I'm getting a bit fired up about some pretty standard spec in modern times. But for me, driving around in older cars, lower spec, for me, this is like driving around in a Bentley. You've got all these extra comforts, even the digital speedo in the middle. I drove the RS6 the other day, and I think because I've been driving this much, my brain has forgotten how to read a normal speedo. It's so convenient just looking down, seeing the speed there in front of you. I was driving the RS6 and I was having to calculate where the needle is to what speed I'm actually going. But comfort-wise, position-wise, everything is so much more comfy than the Golf. There are some things in here where the Golf does actually win, and that is on the practicality side of it, and that became apparent on our first trip to McDonald's. Got the drinks in, no cup holders. In the Golf, you had two cup holders here next to the handbrake. You also had extra compartments in the door cards, both sides, but in this, there is nothing. There is a little cup holder compartment underneath the armrest, but if you want to put a cup in it, you need the armrest out. Less than ideal. There's a little pop out on the dash, but that is a coin holder, which is useless. There's also no door pockets on the rear door cards, and also the Golf had a nice little pocket up here where you could put stuff in. So it does seem like we've got to sacrifice a little bit of practicality for the style, but I'm sure we'll get around that. But we've got to find some way of retrofitting a cup holder in here, at least. Right, here we are at Auto Shack, so let's have a look at the Golf. Here's the cup holder. Apparently, under here, have got this cup holder, but if you put anything in there, you can't put your armrest down. And the reason for the new daily is because I had a bit of a bump in the old one. Someone stopped in front of me for a pheasant, and as you can see, I did not. So it popped all the front in, destroyed the front panel, radiators, everything else, headlights, and now quick release. Just unfortunately, because the whole front end is plastic, it all just crushed and fell in on itself. So it's pulled the wings in where the front panel's gone in. So unfortunately, the Golf is dead. I mean, it was at the end of its life. It's all getting rusty on the front, and the rear arch was getting all rusty. The bottom of this door was getting all rusty. You can just see there, 261,498 miles. That's what the old girl did. So it is going to be a shame. Spent the last 6 years and about 70,000 miles in this car. Roof lining had really started flapping now. We're going to miss all our Subway stickers. Patched everywhere. But like I said, I'm not too dismayed. This car had done me so well. I bought it for £500 6 years ago and I haven't had any trouble with it, just been servicing it along. So I bought this for £500. The insurance company valued it at £880. So actually made a little bit of profit in this thing. But now it's time to say goodbye. So it was at the end of its life, 261,000 miles onwards and upwards. And what an upgrade we have got. I absolutely love this thing. I love how it looks. I love all the upgrades. I love the style on it. But after such an emotional journey together, I'm a bit sad the Golf's going to go. Right, let's get on with one of the more urgent jobs, and that is to replace this 10-year-old cam belt. And for that, we've got a genuine cam belt kit and a genuine water pump, because it's actually cheaper for us to buy the genuine Audi stuff than it is to buy aftermarket stuff. So we've got a full kit, genuine water pump, and I've got a new thermostat to go in there as well, just to do the whole job. So started stripping down, covers off, and I must say, Audi have pulled an absolute blinder. What some of you may know is on the VWs, you have to take the engine mount off to get the cam belt off. But on the A3, you don't. They've moved the engine mount just the tiniest bit. Usually on a Golf, there's another peg that comes through here, and you have to split the engine mount, support the engine, and it's a nightmare. Audi, well done. So let's have a look at this belt. I notice there's a lot of fluff in here, but I think that's from the timing case. They have like sound ending in there. That's all on there. And in the bottom as well, but I think that's just the fluff off the inside of here. It's got like foam insulation, so that's just some of that. The belt doesn't look too bad, but let's get it off for a full inspection, which is going to be so easy because we don't even have to drop the engine. Thank you, Audi. So what was I saying? Yeah, you can get the belt off, but you can't get the tensioner off. See if I can wiggle it out. If not, we are going to have to take this engine mount off, which means we've got to support the whole engine. So I had to take the mount off. There you can see the pin, and that allowed me to slide this out, and then I could get the pulley out. But what I found is it is a genuine belt kit on there. So that's probably why it's lasted so long, being so overdue. But it's exactly the same kit as what we've got. It's got a genuine water pump on there as well, so we'll get that out. So now I can get the tensioner back in and then get the mount back on. What's more annoying is when I turned up, I thought I was going to be taking the mount off, and then I got all excited because I thought I wasn't taking the mount off, and then I had to take the mount off again. But never mind, we've got it off. Let's put it back together. There's old versus new, so you can certainly see it's leather life, but inside it's not horrendous. It's not falling apart. New belt on. Signed super on, all torqued up, so let's get covers back on and get this back together. Oh, actually, and got to do the thermostat, which hides just down there, which you can kind of wiggle into those 10mm bolts there and sneak it out as the coolant's already drained. And there it is, all back together, just bled it all up. Everything is running nicely, so that's the mechanicals done. And while we're here, we can do the first mod you should do to any new car: fresh number plates. See you later, Halfords. Hello, Auto Shack. That looks much cleaner. I'm going to leave the rear one for now till we get that rust sorted out. Check that out. Now we're going to head over to the G-Unit because I've got a few things I want to do there. Driving at night in this is so nice. All the white dials, the ambient lighting, and those xenon headlights are absolutely fantastic. That's dip beam. Right, a few little jobs I want to do down here. And the first thing I want to do is look at how much has actually changed on this car from when it came out of the factory. And for that, in our Audi folder, we need our little service book. Came with a full Audi folder with all the history and all the receipts, but the thing I want to look at is the service schedule, because on the first page of the service schedule of VW and Audis, you have the build sheet. This is the spec that is built to in the factory. Every option, every change of the car is on here. We're an 8PA, like we said, we're an A3 Sportback 1.9 TDI, 77 kilowatts, BKC engine code, LY7H is the paint code, N7B is the interior code, and then these are all called PR codes, and each one relates to a different specification on the car. And I did a little research last night, and you can go on a decoder, and all these codes mean everything. So I typed them all in, and this is the spec of the car as it came out of the factory. So if we start at the top, no claim just means it's a standard car, no special edition. It's got driver's airbag, passenger airbag, exterior heated adjustable mirrors, mirror left glass convex, mirror right glass convex, rear discs. It's got a 380 amp battery, 72 amp hours, has a front disc, has stability control, doesn't have a sunroof, has shock absorbers on the rear, shock absorbers on the front. And here, look, Vavona wood insert in amber, high gloss. So this is an SE with, like I said at the beginning, boring wood trim. It says without park distance control. Well, we have got parking sensors now, so they've been added. It's got comfort power windows, which it already has. No special vehicle, so it's not a police one or anything. It's got a big 140 amp alternator, which means it has got the auxiliary electric heater in it. There's the weight class, suspension controls, 4-cylinder diesel engine, unsplit rear vent, and 8BF is halogen main headlight, left-hand traffic, which means the bi-xenons have been added on. On each suspension corner, it's got all the height adjustment. It's got the headlight washers. The whole retrofit has been done really nicely on this. All the looms are installed, so it must have been quite a lot of work to get that in and get it to work. If we carry on, combi instruments with rev counter, speed dependent power steering. And that is something I said earlier, the steering does seem a lot lighter when you're parking compared to the Golf. So this one is equipped with the Servotronic. It's got a leather wrapped steering wheel, and this means it was a 4-spoke. So the 3-spoke steering wheel that's in there is not factory. Headlight leveling, manual. Well, like I just said about the headlights, we're all on auto leveling headlights. So that's all retrofitted. No multifunction indicator, so we have got full trip computer. Not with navigation system, which we have. Not in hot country, can agree with that. Got the 77 kilowatt 1.9 turbo diesel engine. Again, not with satellite navigation. Should have cast alloy wheels, 6.5 wide by 16 inch. And we've got the 18 inch S-Line ones. Without tyre pressure system, we haven't got that. Front side airbags, head airbags, manual height adjustment, both 8-way adjustable seat. We've actually got electric on the Lambda, so that's all done. Without roll-up sunscreen, green tinted glass, which it has got green tinted rear glass. Kind of see it in the back, which is a cool feature on this. Central locking with remote control, separate release for the trunk, that's all standard. Without protective plate for the engine, without hill start, mission control, long life servicing, heat reflective windshield with sun shield and a viewing window for vehicle ID number, seat trim covers in fabric. Well, we've got our half leather, half Alcantara, and exterior mirrors, power adjustable and heated, which is what we've got. So this being an SE dressed up like an S-Line, it has had so much added on. All the exterior bumpers, the lights, the headlights, all the HIDs, the auto leveling, the headlight washers, the full interior, the steering wheel, the door cards, has all been retrofitted. Now this car is a 2005, so it is now 20 years old. The previous owner has actually had it for the last 10 years, and he bought it like this and has done no modifications to it. So back in the first few years of its life, someone spent a lot of money getting this car to look and be at the spec it is now, which at the time must have been a really big bill. So imagine this, a few years old, looking like this, with the spec, this would have been worth quite a lot of money. So pretty much everything you see on this car has been changed. So if you haven't got a service book for your Audi VW, there is also this same sticker in your spare wheel well, and you get these decoders online. It just has a little slot, you put them all in and it translates for you. So it's quite interesting to see what's been changed on your car as well. So the next thing I want to do is plug into it, because obviously the guy that did all this must have had VCDS. Everything is coded incorrectly. The sat nav is linked to the dash, because when you put navigation on, it all comes up in the center screen, and we've got no fault codes throughout the car. He has got pretty much everything activated. He must have just gone plus, 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 plus. I've noticed on the way here, we've actually got corner lights as well. So when you turn the wheels, each fog light comes on in turn. As I said in the car, on the way to Auto Shack, I want to get rid of this anti-hijacking because it is pretty annoying. But we have the technology. So if we fire up VCDS. Now for all our locking, we definitely want to get rid of central convenient, coding, And up here, so we want to get rid of this selective central locking, single door opening. So I want to press the button and I want all the doors to unlock. So we'll get rid of that. And auto lock, automatic locking from 15 kilometers per hour. Get rid of that. I don't think central locking, switching rear. Don't want any of that. Don't want any of the safe function. And this just goes through how central locking works, how you want it to work. So we don't need any more of that. So we'll go to do it. And then on the options, if we go into central electric to the coding, we can see they will have ticked literally everything, I reckon. Long coda. So we've got front fog lights installed, not standard. Xenon headlights installed, not standard. Footwell lights installed, not standard. Daytime running lights active, not standard. Rain sensor installed, that is standard. Coming home active, that's not standard. So all of these been turned on. Cool. Rear wiper, front wiper intermittent. Comfort turn signals, cold lamp diagnosis is active. Coming home mode, turn signal lights installed. So that's what I was just saying about. Auxiliary heater installed, that is factory. Activation of both fog light. We are right hand drive. Climatronic installed, that's all aftermarket. The other thing on these, you can have them all set up so you can make the headlights do different things. So you can have US spec, so you can make the indicators look US spec, but we've got our side lights, headlight washers, turn signals left and right as parking front light for USA and Canada, so we can turn that up, the dimness, don't really want any of that. Fog light as parking light, front light dimming, parking light dimming. There's so much you can do with the coding on these. Cold diagnosis, front fog light dimming, and we're on by Xenon front lights with separate daytime running light, internal turn light algorithm active, turn lights via fog light, all done. So don't need to change anything in there. Everything is happy. That is a good thing about this platform. I did find it in the Golf as well. You can program basically anything in. You can make each light do what you want. You can have brake lights as fog light. You can chop and change all different countries, which is pretty cool. But I'm happy where this is. So I've got one last job I want to do while we're in the G unit. Some of you will have seen before, we've got our Burt Monroe offerings to the God of Speed shelf, where everything that's ever broken on any of my cars is up here. We've got pistons, oil pumps, shells, valves, conrods. Every time something goes wrong, it goes on the shelf. So I did salvage a couple of bits from the Golf. We've got half the number plate and half the badge. So I think I'll screw these up on the back, adding them to the offerings of the God of Speed. So the Golf may be gone, but never forgotten. So that is my new daily driver, and as you can probably tell by this video, I am extremely pleased with it. It has ticked all the boxes and more. It feels amazing to drive, it feels so much more modern, and I'm really happy with the price that I paid with it. I've done a few thousand miles in it now, and it drives absolutely brilliantly. Like I said at the beginning, the Golf how-tos did amazing on the graph, on the views. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. So if I need to do any work on this, I will of course be filming it and putting it out to you guys. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to be saving a bucket load of money not driving the RS6 around. So if you see me out and about, I'll be easy identified because there is no other car around with the US spec bumpers. So if you see an A3 line with the US side markers, give me a wave because it's going to be me. We will be back down the G unit next week because I've nearly finished the sticker wall. That job has escalated massively. It's nearly turned into a complete workshop refit. So make sure you tune in for that. But until then, make sure you have fun.